Good everyone, my name is Graphics. In this video, we want to solve another problem involving triangulation, where we are told to draw the development of the figure that is displayed at the right hand side of the screen using the method of what? Triangulation, right? And the first thing you have to do is to reproduce the figure that is displayed there before you can develop the figure, right? Now, I'll take my T-square, right? And I'll draw an horizontal line this way. Then I'll take my set square and I'll draw a vertical line on that horizontal line at any given radius. You can see? Now, if you look closely, you discover that this point that you're seeing here is that same point that my arrow is pointing on the screen, right? Now we're given that this circle you're seeing, the diameter is what? Is 56. So I need 28 in order to get 56. Now I'm going to take my compass, right? And I'll measure 28 on the compass. This is 2, this is 28 here, right? And I'll place it at this point here, at the center, and I'm going to draw a circle in which I am going to thicken. All good? Now, after I've done that, the next thing I'm going to do is that from the center, as you can see, from this center line here towards the left is 16 millimeter. So I'm going to take my meter rule and place it this way, and I'll measure 16 millimeter. You can see that? So this point here is 16. Now what do you notice? I'll draw a vertical line on that point that is thickened. So on this point here, I'll draw a vertical line that is thickened to this point. Then I'll just make the rest to be what? Faint. You can see that? Now, the next thing I'm going to do is that from this line I drew here, from this line, I'll say this point here, I'm going to measure 40 towards the right. Right? I'll measure what? 40 towards the right. So let's do that. I'll measure 40 towards the right from this point. So this is from 0 to what? To 40 at this point here. Can see that? And I'm going to draw a vertical line on that point. Faint line first of all. This way. You can see that? So from this point you're marking here, which is this point here, right, is the center of this semicircle that is here. And the radius of that semicircle is given to be what? 44. So I'll take my meter rule, measure 44 on it this way, right? And I'll place it at this point, which is marking the center of that circle, that semicircle. And I'll draw a semicircle on that point. You see that? After doing that, then I'll take my T-square and move from this point, right, to touch this line. If you look at that point, from this point here to this point is a straight line. Similarly, from this point to this point is a straight line, which is this point to somewhere around here and this point to somewhere around here, right? So I'm going to draw a vertical line there, a horizontal line from this point, taking it to this point, and also from this point, I'll taking it to this point. can see that. Now the next thing is, from this point here to this point, I'll draw my line, which will be tangential to the circle, right? Now when I do that, I am going to be having this. I'm going to be having this. Ensure that it is tangential to that point on the circle, this way, right? This way, and also this way. Can see that? Now after we've done that, we have successfully drawn this is the plan, right? Now is the elevation that is remaining we should replicate. So if I'm doing that, I will now take my um set square and I will move all those points downward. First of all, I'll start with this. I'll take it down. I'll come to the next point here. Here, I'll take it down. Then I'll come to the next point here also, which is this point here. I'm going to take it down. You see that? Now I will draw an horizontal line in this manner, because if you look at from this point, right, I'll just draw an horizontal line first of all, this way. Now if you look at from this point, which is here, is this point here, right? I will now measure a height from this um, horizontal line here. I'll measure a vertical height downward, which is given to be from here to here, and that is 70. So I'll measure 70 downward from 0 to what? 70. Then I'll draw an horizontal line, faint line first of all, this way. So let me bring all this point to touch the baseline here. Now let's see. This point you're seeing here is this point on the screen. Why this not point here is on this line here, right? So I'll take my meter rule and I'll join it using a thick line this way. You can see that. Now the next one is from here to here, right? Is from here to this point here. Are we good? That's touching the circumference of the circle. I'm going to move from here to here. You can see that. Then the other ones from here to here, right, is from this point here to this point here. So I'm going to use it to touch there. You can see that. Then the center line from this center here to the next center here. Now this is the center of this semicircle, right? And this is the center of the circle. So I'll join the center to center together. So this center here to this center here. So I can use my center line. The long one, short, long, short, long, short, and long. So this is where the center is actually, right? And we have another center line here because it's a semicircle. I can actually place it there, long, short, long, short, long, short, long. Then it's also center line too, right? Here to here. Long, short, long. After that, Then here also is the center line. So the center line is just here to here. Got that? Now we've successfully, right, reproduced the figure that is displayed at the right hand side of the screen. Now the next thing we have to do is to start developing, right? So if you look closely, I'm going to say that I'll name this like I'm going to what label it, right? So I can just easily say that this will be my point what? My point A here. Whatever variable, I'll call it to be A. This point here should be A. The next point here to be what? B. Here too will be B, because if I divide this into two, what I'll see at the top will be the same thing I'll see at the bottom. So the up and the down is symmetrical. So here will be what? Here will be C. Likewise what? Here will be what? C. Here will be, then if it's what we have, then I'll move forward. Then I need to divide this into as many equal parts as I can divide it, which is the highest I can go there is 6. So if I take the radius between here to this point here, right, I'm going to mark up, I'll mark down, I'll place it at this top here, at this bottom here. I'm going to mark um, top here. I'll come here also. I'll mark here. That is using the same radius of the word semicircle. Right? Now, if that is the case, this will be C. This will be what? D. This will be E. This will be F. Here C, D, E, and F. Right? So I can just leave it this way. I've divided it that way. Right? Similarly, I am going to divide this circle here too into 12. So, but before I will do that, I'll divide this into what? Into 12 too. So using the radius of the circle from here to here, you can see that I'll cut up, down, right? Or just only up if I want to. Now come to this point too. I'm going to cut up, right? And I'll come here also. I'll cut left and right. So with the help of that, I'm going to take my meter rule and pass those points, each of those points, through the center of the circle, right? I don't necessarily have to do that, I'll just do that. So passing through the center of that circle. You see that? Passing through the center of the circle, just like I've been doing in the previous video. You can see? So from here, I can start. This should be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, then back to 0. So what I'm going to do is I'll start joining those points together. So we'll move from first one, B to 4 this way, B to 3, right? The next thing is I'll come to C to 3, then we have C to 2, right? C to 3, then C to, we'll call it, this is 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? So we have C to 3, C to 3, C to 2, C to 1. So this will just move just like that, right? So we'll come again. D will come and go between 2. D will come here, 2. And D will come also at 1. E will come at 1, and E will go to this point here. Then I'll come from E again. You ignore the F here. E will come here and E will come here. Then D. D will come here and D will come here. Then C. C will come to 3, right? Then C will come to what? To 2. So this is what we have, right? So anyhow you want to name here, you can actually do that. In some places, they usually make it to be either 0, they'll call it to be 1, here to be 2, here to be 3, then we have 4, 5, 6, we have again 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So whatever you feel like, you can use starting your 0 from here, or you can start your 0 from here. Whatever you choose, you're still on point, right? Now we'll move forward. Now the next thing I'm going to do is at this point, if you start doing your naming, we'll have I'll be sticking with the 6, right? So take this here, this will be either you call it 6, right, or you call it 0.0, any of one is your choice. So let me sticking with the 6, so taking the 6, the one outside here. So I'll go to the next one. We have 5, this will be what, 5, right? Is it 5? No, the 6, then coming down here, this is 5, yes. Then the next one we have what, 4, so we have 4 here. I'm taking the same line downward. Then we have 3, then the next one we have 2, then we have 1, this is 1, then we have 0. So let me start from 0. So let me move others one, this one. So I have actually changed it, so we'll not get confused since I'm starting with 0 here. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So let's move forward. Now we'll start. We know that B is connected to 1, 2, 3. Am I correct? So B is connected to 1, 2, 3. That will be B. So this point here is for B. Is that again? Now the next one is, we know the next one is C here. This is C. This line coming down here is point C, right? And C is connected to 3, 4, 5, right? So C is connected to 3 and 4. That means C is connected to 3 and C is connected to what? And 4. So C is connected to what? 3 and 4, right? Now the next one is F, right? We have F at this point. So if I bring this one down also, E is there too. Let me bring the E out. Then the next one also, D. D2 is there. All these things are faint line. This is B, right? This is C. This is D. This is what? E. So if you look at D, D is connected to what? 4 and 5. So I can easily take my D to come to the point of what? 4 and 5. E is connected to what? 5 and 6. E is connected to 5 and what? And 6. Then F is just there. That is what we have there. Right? So don't get it twisted. Now, knowing fully well that this line you're seeing is just the center line, so you don't have to stop yourself about that. So let's move forward and see. Now, the next thing that we're going to be doing is to start developing, right? So there's a little trick I'm going to give you here. Is a very effective trick, is to get the true length, because from C to 3 is not the true length when you're looking from the elevation. From D to 4 is not the true length, so we want to get the true length, right? So let's move. Don't forget that this point should just be an hidden line here. Let me just put that hidden line so it will help us know what we're actually doing. Because if you look at A, B, C, we have A, B, C, C, B, A is a rectangle, right? It is what? It is a rectangle. So don't get confused there. So we want to start from what? From A to what? To B. There's a rectangle there, A to what? To B. So what I'll just do is, I will take my meter rule and I'll just draw a horizontal line, a vertical line here, this way. So this, I'll pick a point there. Let's say this point here should be my point what? My point A. Should be my point what? Point A. Knowing fully well that the top and the bottom are symmetrical. So if I divide into 2, whatever I'm seeing, you see I'm saying FEDCB here, I'm saying FEDCB here. So they are symmetrical. So I'm going to take my compass. This is the true length already, since it's a vertical line like that. It's not an inclined line. I'll take my compass from A to what? A to B. Either A to B top or A to B bottom is the same. So I'll come here, I'll mark up B and down B. I'm doing this simultaneously. So this point here is my point B, and this point here is also my point B. Are we good? Now I want to get um, 0. I want to get what? Point 0 here. So what I'm going to do is the true length of B to 0 can be gotten from here. Look at what I want to do, so don't get it twisted here. So I'll come here as a shortcut for you to understand the main concept here. Let me just do it here. I'm going to draw a vertical line here, this way. Hope you can see what I'm doing from that point here. I'm going to draw a vertical line this way. Yeah. Right. And I'll draw a horizontal line that will lap with this way. Faint line. Right. Now the height of this line, let's say it should be our base here. Let me call it P. So the height of this is the same height as this, which is 70, right? So I'm going to just mark it. I will not move it out. I'll just ensure that it's the same thing here. So this is a point I move. I'll call it to be what? Q. So from P to Q is something that's saying from here to here, which is what? 70. So what I'm going to do is this. From B to O to 0, right? From B to what? From B to 0. I'm going to come here and I'm going to mark it this way. B to 0. So this point here you're seeing is 0. Right? So I'll just draw a line. So whenever I want to take the measurement of B to 0, I'm going to take this measurement. Right? So when I place my compass from B to 0 here to get point 0, I'll place it here this way. So it means the true length of B to 0 is this line here. So I'm going to come here from B. I'll strike a line this way. Then for the other B also, since it's symmetrical, I'll strike another line. So where they meet where they meet is what? My point 0, right? So I'm going to connect B to 0 and B to 0, right? So this is what we have for the first point. So we move forward. Now the next one is to get point 1. So look at this. From 0 to 1, I'll measure it this way. And I'll come on this line here and I'll mark from P here to what? To 1. So this is my line here is for the true length of what? Of line 1. So I'll just connect it to this point Q here. You see that? So when I take my measurement to get point 1, right? So for me to get point 1, first of all, you know this is 1 here already. So I'll just take from 0 to 1 here, this way, and I'll come to 0. It means that my 1 will fall on this point here, around somewhere around here. My 1 will fall here or here. So I'm doing this simultaneously because I have 1 at the top and 1 at the bottom. This is 1, this is 1. So I've take the measurement from here to here and I place it on 0. But look at 0 here, will give you my 1 and my what? My 1. The same thing, I come here, 0, I mark 1 and what? 1. Now, I'll now get the true length of B to 1, which is what I showed you earlier, from B to 1 here. This is the measurement here. So I'll call it B to 1. And I'll come here from B. I'll strike on 1. From B, I'll strike on 1. So that is my B1. So this is point 1. This is another point 1. So let me just call it to be B1. Here to be B0 here. Right? Now the next thing I'm going to do is to get the next point 2. So taking the distance from 2 to 1 here, just like what you can see from the screen. Right? And I'll come to 1 here. So my 2 will fall somewhere around here, and my 2 will fall around here. Right? Now how will I get B2? So the measurement from B to 2 is at this point, and I'll come on this line here. I'll mark from P here. This will be my B2. Right? So I'll just connect that point to this point. Right? So from here to here is the true length of my B2. So I'll come to B. I'm going to mark this point. I'll come to B also, I'll mark this point. So the way they intersect will be my point 2. Where they intersect will be my point 2. Oh, good. Now the next thing is B from 2 to what? To 3. You can see that? Now come at this point here. I'm going to mark from 2 to 3. So my 3 will fall somewhere around here, and the 3 will fall somewhere around here also. Right? So to get the true length from 2 to 3, from B to 3 here, right? You can see that. I'll come here, I'm going to mark. So this is what? My B3. This is B3. So I'm going to connect this point to this point here. So that will be the true length of what? Of B3. So I'll place it here to Q. Right? And I'm going to place it at B. Now mark. Place it at B here also, I'll mark. So this point here will be point 3. And here also will be what? Point 3. Oh, good. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to get point C. So the true length here, since a straight line from here to here is my point C. You can see that. So I'll just come at this point, right? I'll come at this point here B. I'll just strike an arc here this way. You can see that. And similarly, I'll come here also at this point here. I'm gonna strike another arc this way here. Now what am I going to do? What I need is point C. So I need 3 and C, right? So this is 3 and C here, because it's point 3 to C. So for me to get C, right, I will just come to this point. I will do the same thing here, right? So to just even, I'll do the same thing at this point. Let me just say that this is for B, right? So if I want to get that for C, this is what I'm going to do. I'll replicate the same thing again. So I'm going to what? Replicate the same thing, that I don't want it to be I don't want it to be, I put it this way. I'll just draw my horizontal line here, then draw another vertical line here. I'll be using that one for my C. This is for B, so let me use this for C, so that it will not look choked. So the distance from here to here, this will be, I'll call here to be my P prime, depending on you, which is center at this point P. So from P to Q here will be from P to Q here, the same height. And here will be my Q prime, right? The same height as this. So let's move. Now, if I want to get for point C, right? So I'll come here from C to 3, because what C have in common with B is what? Is 3, right? So from C to 3, I'll come to this point and mark here. That will be C3. This will be what? C3. So I'm going to connect it to this one here. That will be the true length of what? C3. So if I measure from here to this point, I'll place it at 3 here, so that I can get this point here. You can see that? I'll place that 3 there, so I can get what? That point there. So that point I'm getting, that here will be what? My point C. I have to do it at the same point here too. From 3 here, because it's symmetrical, to here. So this point you're seeing here is what? My point C. So I'm going to join it. So B to C, then B to C, and we also have A to B here, and A to B here. You can see that? Now we move forward. Don't forget, if I want to, O and A is connected, I can just connect here at an angle of 90 degrees if I want to, right? So let's move forward. Now I will take this C to 3, right? To C to what? C to 2, right? So come here, C to 3, B to 1, B to 2, and what? B to 3. You can see that? Then here also, B is connected to 1, B is connected to 2, B is connected to 3, and C is connected to 3 too. Right? So we move forward. So we're going to join all these points together. Let's just move forward. Now the next point is C to D, right? This one is 3 to 4. So if I come to 3 to 4, 3 to 4, You can see that. I'll come here from 3, 4 will be somewhere around here, 4 will be somewhere around here, and 4 will be somewhere around here. You can see that. Now the next thing is C to 3. Let me C to 4 now. C to 4, because the next point is point 4 we're trying to get. So C to 4, C to 4. So to get the true length, to come here from this point P, you mark a line. That will be what? C4, right? C4. So I'm going to connect the line from 4 and this point here. So that will be the true length of C4. So this is C4, right? I'm going to come at this point. I'll mark, right? So this point you're seeing will be 0.4, right? So yeah, also I'll do the same thing here. What I used from here to get here will be the same thing I'll use here to get here. So this is 0.4. I'm going to connect this and these two. You can see that. Now, not to cut you short, if you know you've not subscribed, please click on the subscribe button and also share the video. Click on the subscribe button and also share the video, and also like and comment if you have any question you want to ask. So we'll proceed. Now we'll go to the next one, which is 5. So I'll come to this point from 4 to what? To 5, right? And I'll place it here. My 5 is somewhere around this line here, and my 5 is somewhere around this line here. You can see that. Now if you notice it, C is not connected to 5. C is only connected to 3 and 4. Altogether, this line you're seeing here is just the center line, so don't get confused. C is only connected to what? 3 and 4. So what is connected to 0.5, 4 and 5 is what? D. So we have to get D for we to be able to get what? 0.5. So how will I get D? I'll take the measurement of C to what? To D. Can you see that? When I wanted to get B and C, I place it on B and C, and I come to B and C and I mark. Now C and D is, I'll come on point C and D here, right? And I'll come to this point C here, and I'm going to strike an arc at this point here. So my D is falling on this point, and the same thing will be applied here too. You can see that. Now how will I get? So we need 4D. We need 4D. So I'll come here and measure 4 at this point, D, right? Then I'll come here. I can easily draw another one, but let's just continue from here. 4D. You can see that. So that is for the point of what? 4D. So I'll join that line together. You can actually do everything in one point, right? You don't necessarily scatter them, but just to give you a clearer explanation. So I'll come here. This is the true length of 4 to D, right? So I'll come to 4, then I'll mark on this line. That will be my point D. Can you see that? So I'm going to join 4 to D. So what I used from 4 here to get D, I also used from the 4 here to get D. So this is another point D. You can see that? So the next thing I want to get is 0.5. So how can I get 5? Right? I need D5. I need D5. 5 is here, so I need the radius of the true length of D5. So I'll place it on D to what? To 5. And I'll come on this point here and I'll mark. So my D5 is falling on that line there. So this is the D5 here, D5, right? So I'm going to join it from this point to this point here. So that is D5 there. So from here to this point, you can see that. And I'll come to this point D here, and I'll get 5, right? So this is my point 5. So I'll do the same thing here. So since they are symmetrical, from D to 5. And this is my point 5. You can see that. So I'll join D to 5 faint line, and also D to 5 faint line, right? Then we move forward. C and 5 is not connected, so I'm not connecting C and 5. No. So I'll use a French curve to just join these two ends together. So I can use a French curve to actually join these two ends together. And these together. And so that, so we'll move forward. So we'll go to the next one. Don't forget we're going to join all these points two together. So go to the next point, which is what? 6. So from 5 to what? 5 to 6. Can see that? So from 5, my 6 is falling somewhere around here, right? And the 6 is falling from 0.5 somewhere around here because they are symmetrical. So to get 0.6, I need D6. Now D is not connected to what? To 6. It's only connected to 4 and 5. So for me to get 6, I need to get point E. So what will I do to get E? So we know that from D to what? To E. From D to E. E is falling somewhere around here too. Just like 6 is falling somewhere around here. So I'll come here also. I'm having this. You can see that. Now the next thing I want to do is to get E. So we know that 5 and E have something in common, right? 5 and E. So I'll connect from 5, and I have 0.5 already. So I'll connect from 5 to what? To E. You can see that? Can you see that? And I will come and measure it from here to this point, from P to this point here. That'll give me my E5. E what? E5. So I'll connect this point to this point here, then measure it to this point, E5. So when I place it at 5, I'll get E. When I place it at 5, I'll get E. So this point you're seeing here will be for my point E, and here also is for my point E, right? So from that point E, let me just connect it, E5. So that means E and 5 is connected. So from this point, E5, and from this point to E5. You can see that. So I'll use my French curve to just connect these two together. To connect these two together. Now the next thing is to get 6, right? How will I get 6? So it's as simple as this. I'll be getting E6, right? So from E to what? To 6. So I'll come here to mark my 6 points. So the good news is E5 and E6 are on the same point. You can see that E5 and E6 are on the same point. So I'll just take the true length of, I'll just put it E5, comma what, comma E6. They're on the same point. So I'll just come here and I'll take the measurement here. Then I'll come to this point E to get 6. So this point here will be for my point what? Point 6. So I'll just join because E and 6 is connected. So I'll just connect E to 6. Right? Now do the same, this is the same measurement here. E6. So that'll be my point 6. 6. So I'll join U to 6. Now the next thing is I've gotten E. The next point is what? Is F. Right? I've gotten E. Our next point is what? Is F. So I'll take the measurement from E to F. Right? And I'll place it at point E for me to get F at this point here. And also from point E for me to get F at this point here. Can I see that? So let me bring this down a little bit. Now the next thing I'm going to do here is for me to get F, right? I need the already known point here. It is 6, so I need 6 to F, right? So if I have this from 6 to F, I'll come here, 6 to F. It's almost the same thing here. So this point here is my 6 to F. I'll call it F6 or 6F, right? So I'll just join it together this way. So that point you're seeing from here to this point is my 6F. So when I place that 6, right, I'll get F. When I place that 6 here, I'll get F. So this point here is my point F. This point here also is my point F. All together. So I'm going to just join 6 to F and also 6 to F. It's just 1, 9. And I use my French curve to join those points together. If I join here with my French curve, this way, well this, and here my French curve this way. This, right? And I'll join all this together. This. So you now taking this also, this side here, you're going to what? Taking it, the end. So this is 6F here, and also 6F here. So what is that telling you? Making you understand that we start opening the shape from this place here. So when you split it open from this side and you open it in this manner, right? So you'll be having B O B A B, right? B A B and 6F coming together. This is what we have in the video. So you can click on the link at the end screen in order to access other videos involving triangulation. So if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share the video. Thanks for watching.